Oh, we got a horse riding on the trail today. Hello, everybody, fellow humans. Welcome to day 11 of my 30-day Talk to Camera challenge. Today, I'm supposed to talk about something that changed my life. And it took me a while to really decide what it was that I wanted to talk about. It's a pretty significant moment, anything that impacts your entire life. And for me, it happened about, this particular one anyway, happened about 3 years ago. I had a friend who was living in Berlin at the time and decided that for his wife's 40th birthday, he was going to invite our squadron of friends to a villa in Italy. My wife and I had never been to Italy. We'd never been anywhere in Europe. And so we decided to go. The lowdown on this situation was that it was a villa. There was room for 18 of us to come along. And that's about all we knew. So we went and we had an absolute blast. The villa was in Positano, Italy. As I said, there was 18 of us. My wife and I knew 6 maybe of the people. I would say 8 of the people. But the rest we didn't know. And then there was even a couple folks that came in to hang out that weren't staying in the villa. So there was, if I'm not mistaken, there was 22 of us all told. It was an incredible week. The villa was absolutely gorgeous. Positano was fantastic. So many stairs. We weren't expecting that. But the villa had a property manager, a gardener, a concierge, a chef, and housekeeping. So this is a little bit of a step up from a typical Airbnb. All of the people were fantastic. These friends of ours who invited us to come had done an excellent job at collecting good people, and therefore we spent the week in Positano at that villa with a bunch of really great people, forming relationships that still exist today, of course, and I expect will continue to exist. During our time there, we obviously drank a ton of wine, as well as ate a bunch of incredible food. I can't even begin to describe how good the chef was. One day we went to see Pompeii and the ruins from the cataclysmic volcano of Mount Vesuvius. One day he had chartered a couple boats for us, and we went up the Amalfi coast and stopped in at the Isle of Capri and stopped in Amalfi for lunch. What else did we do? I mean, a bunch of hiking around the town. It was really fantastic. We were sad that it was coming to a close, but the upside is, since we had never been to Europe, my wife and I, we decided to take advantage of the travel that we had done, and we also booked a week in Barcelona, which is the first time that either of us had ever been in Spain as well. Fell in love with Spain. We had an Airbnb in Barcelona, and actually the friends that invited us to the villa in Italy came to stay with us for a weekend in Barcelona because Barcelona is one of their favorite cities. It quickly became one of ours as well. They showed us around. My wife and I and our friends, we ate incredible food. We saw incredible architecture, just blown away by Europe in general, but specifically how a large city like Barcelona operates. We also got to see Naples, of course, flying in and out. So that was the experience that changed my life, and I'll explain why. During the time they were talking with all of these folks that they had collected and brought together, most of them were digital nomads. And there was folks from Berlin, a handful from the US. There was some folks that were living in Finland, UK, Scotland, and Ireland, I believe. So at the time I was working a job. I was a project manager / program manager. I had earned my PMP, and I felt a little bit undervalued. I guess that's the word I would use. I was not being paid nearly enough for the credentials and experience in the work that I was doing. And talking to all these people over the week in Positano at the villa made me realize that I can do it too. I can get a good paying job, be mobile, work remotely, because at this time, this was 2022, we were coming out of the pandemic, and the company that I was working for was doing a pseudo return to office. I think they wanted 4 days in the office, 1 day remote, or something like that, but it just seemed ridiculous to me. Why would I want to go and commute into an office into downtown Denver to sit at a computer and work with other people who had commuted to their office from other cities across the US? That doesn't make any sense at all. So I took the opportunity to land a position that I really was looking forward to, working with incredibly talented people that I wanted to learn from, making a much higher salary, and fully remote. So that was one of the major ways that it changed my life. Not only giving me the kick in the ass that I needed to make a professional move that was smart for me, but by doing that, I also grew my skill set in a professional way. I was able to more aggressively save into my emergency fund, which is allowing me to take the time I need between roles right now and to do something that is a personal goal of mine. It broadened my perspective on culture and the way of life. Over in Europe, at least where I was, I'm going to speak in generalities, the food is much healthier. The public transportation exists and is much better. The dollar goes a longer way. People are more relaxed, I think is maybe the right word. I think here in the US, we're focused on the hustle. It's all about capitalism. But over there, it's more about experiencing life at a slower pace and enjoying your friends and enjoying food. And I just really liked the change of pace that we saw there. So all in all, I would say that's one of those experiences that changed my entire life. It changed my worldview, changed how I see my place in the world and how I want to live my life. It also exposed me to Europe, which in itself is absolutely incredible. I mean, the different cultures and languages and foods, the history. I never got sick, and I'm still not sick of it, of walking around and looking up and seeing a building that's older than my entire country. And this happens all the time. So I think exposure to all of that, I fell in love with Spain. It exposed me by way of falling in love with Spain to the Camino as well. And so, I don't know, that one experience has changed my life so much in a really positive way. I can't thank are friends enough that invited us to come. And I'm not sure if they understand how big of an impact that had on our lives as well. I think it made me a more well-rounded person, more appreciative and grateful for what I've got. It brought into focus what I think is important or more important in the way that I live my life, and the kind of work that I do and who I do it for and who I do it with. And it has inspired me to continue traveling the world and seeing different places that I've never been before. So on our list for Europe, of course, we would love to see Finland and go to Germany. Love to spend some time in France, Greece, of course, Croatia. There's Prague, everybody says is fantastic. Would love to go to Switzerland. I mean, there's no end of European countries I want to visit, and that's just Europe. So life is short. This experience prompted me to take advantage of the short life and the type of life that I lead, to see more of the world, broaden my horizons, and hopefully become a better person. Anyway, that's day 11. Thanks so much for joining if you did. We'll see you tomorrow for day 12. Ciao.